Pedro Alonso López, a name synonymous with some of the most heinous crimes in history, operated across Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru. Born in 1948, Lopez's life was marked by violence and tragedy from an early age. Abandoned by his mother at a young age, he turned to a life of crime. Lopez's criminal activities escalated, leading to his first arrest in the 1960s. After his release, he continued his spree, targeting young girls across multiple countries. His modus operandi was chillingly methodical, earning him the nickname the Monster of the Andes. Lopez's reign of terror lasted for years, leaving a trail of devastation in his wake. Despite his capture, the full extent of his crimes remains a haunting mystery. Join us as we delve into the disturbing crimes of Pedro Alonso López, exploring the dark depths of his twisted mind. To fully grasp the magnitude of his actions, it's essential to understand the global context during his reign of terror. The 1970s were a turbulent time globally, marked by political upheaval, economic crises, and social change. The Cold War was at its peak, with the United States and the Soviet Union locked in a tense standoff. The oil crisis of 1973 led to widespread economic instability, affecting millions worldwide. Social movements were gaining momentum, with people fighting for civil rights, gender equality, and more. Natural disasters also struck, adding to the sense of global chaos and uncertainty. Amidst this backdrop, crime rates were soaring, and serial killers like Lopez exploited the chaos to commit their heinous acts. In South America, where Lopez operated, political instability and poverty created a fertile ground for his crimes. Law enforcement struggled to keep up, often hampered by limited resources and widespread corruption. Understanding this global context helps us comprehend how Lopez could carry out his reign of terror with such impunity. In 1978, as Lopez's criminal activities began to unfold, the world was witnessing significant events. This year was marked by transformative occurrences that shaped the global landscape, from political upheavals to social changes. 1978 was a year of both turmoil and progress. The United States was recovering from the Vietnam War and dealing with the aftermath of the Watergate scandal. The nation was in a state of reflection and rebuilding, trying to heal from the scars left by these significant events. In Colombia, the nation was battling internal conflict and political instability, providing a tumultuous backdrop for Lopez's crimes. The country was grappling with violence and unrest, making it a challenging environment for law enforcement to maintain order. Born on October 8, 1948, in Santa Isabel, Colombia, Pedro Alonso López experienced a childhood marked by severe neglect and abuse. These early experiences included the loss of his mother and subsequent periods of poverty, which are believed to have played a role in shaping his later behavior. Lopez was often left to fend for himself on the streets, resorting to petty theft and scavenging to survive. The harsh environment further contributed to his troubled psyche, occasionally finding brief moments of respite in shelters. Despite these hardships, there were fleeting moments of hope in his early life. Lopez's criminal activities began in the 1970s and quickly escalated. His method involved luring young girls with promises of gifts or jobs, then committing heinous acts. He would gain their trust, making it easier to carry out his sinister plans. His ability to avoid detection for so long was partly due to his methodical approach. He meticulously planned each encounter, leaving little evidence behind. The challenging socio-political climate of the regions he targeted also played a significant role. The instability and lack of resources made it difficult for authorities to track him down. Despite numerous reports of missing girls, the fragmented and overburdened police forces struggled to connect the dots, allowing Lopez to continue his reign of terror. One of Lopez's most infamous crimes took place in the year 1978 in Colombia, a country already grappling with various social issues. He encountered a young girl, approximately 9 years old, and cunningly promised her assistance for her struggling family, exploiting her innocence and trust. After gaining her trust through deceitful promises, he led her to a secluded area far from the safety of her home and community. In that isolated spot, he committed heinous and serious offenses against her, leaving a scar on the community. The girl's lifeless body was later discovered by local authorities, which sparked a detailed and intense investigation into Lopez's criminal activities. Lopez's crimes spanned across Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru, creating a cross-border nightmare for law enforcement. In Ecuador, he continued his spree, evading capture for an extended period. His ability to move seamlessly between countries made it difficult for authorities to track him. Each nation had its own challenges and limitations, which Lopez exploited to his advantage. The coordination between the countries was often lacking, allowing Lopez to slip through the cracks. His crimes left a trail of devastation and fear, impacting countless lives. Despite the efforts of law enforcement, Lopez's cunning and mobility kept him one step ahead. The international manhunt for him became one of the most challenging cases of its time. His capture in 1980 marked the end of a reign of terror. The arrest was the result of tireless efforts by law enforcement. This pivotal moment led to a broader investigation, uncovering a web of crimes spanning multiple jurisdictions. During his trial, Lopez's statements revealed chilling details about his crimes. He spoke with a cold detachment, recounting his actions without remorse. His confessions provided insight into his psychological state. Experts painted a picture of a deeply disturbed individual. The case shocked the public and raised complex questions about criminal psychology and early trauma. Experts delved into Lopez's psychological profile, exploring how his early trauma and experiences influenced his criminal behavior. This analysis provided a broader understanding of how environmental and psychological factors can contribute to extreme criminal acts. Lopez's childhood was marked by severe abuse and neglect, which psychologists believe played a crucial role in shaping his violent tendencies. By examining his background, experts aim to uncover patterns that might help in preventing future crimes. Understanding the interplay between a person's environment and their psychological development is key to addressing the root causes of such disturbing behavior. The case of Pedro Alonso López also prompted significant changes in law enforcement strategies. The need for improved international cooperation and more effective methods for tracking and capturing serial offenders became glaringly evident. This case underscored the critical importance of having robust systems in place to deal with complex criminal cases. Law enforcement agencies around the world began to reevaluate their approaches, focusing on better training and resource allocation. International crime conferences became more frequent, fostering collaboration and sharing of best practices among different countries. Advances in technology and forensic tools were also integrated into investigative processes, enhancing the ability to solve such cases efficiently. Pedro Alonso Lopez's story remains one of the most disturbing chapters in criminal history. The scale of his crimes and the efforts to bring him to justice highlight the complexities of dealing with such extreme cases. Understanding these aspects helps in developing better systems and approaches to prevent similar tragedies in the future. The legacy of Pedro Alonso López serves as a grim reminder of the depths of human depravity. It underscores the importance of vigilance, education, and continuous improvement in our criminal justice systems. By learning from the past, we can strive to create a safer and more just society for everyone.